Hello, welcome back to Paul's Stuff. This is my space on YouTube where I get to talk about all the things I love. Lots of Star Wars, lots of lightsabers. Today's a Star Wars video. It's one of those continuing videos in a series that I'm making on my Black Series 6-inch figures and vehicles, as we can see today. And today we're going to be looking at some of my figures from The Empire Strikes Back. And I thought where better to start than quite possibly the most impressive vehicle in the Black Series line. That's the Snowspeeder from The Empire Strikes Back. So this is what we have in front of us. This is the Black Series 6-inch Snowspeeder. I'll give you a little bit of detail as we go around it. I'm doing this bit handheld because this thing is so big it will not fit in my in frame if I have the camera set up as I normally do. So we've got this beautiful model, lovely detail on this thing, and we have several features on it. So this section will pop out here. It should pop out. There we go. And then under here, everything is a little bit tight on this model. So bear with me a little bit while I fight against tight clips and things. And we have a detail panel under there. I believe there is one of the Snowspeeders that we see in the movie that has that panel missing. That's a nice touch. Let's feed that back in. Pop the engine piece back in, or is that a blaster piece? I don't know. So everything is quite tight on this model. We have pop-up speed brakes at the back that again have detail inside. There's another one on the other side which I won't open at this point. They pop up rather nicely. We have moving speed brakes on the rear. I think these move up and down if I remember rightly. There we go. So they flap up and down. We have the harpoon gun with the harpoon that comes off. I'm not going to unravel that because it takes some ravelling back up. The gun moves around. No hatch on this side, but we do have another of these lift up panels here. And then we have the cockpit. This is where I may struggle to open things a little bit. No, that's opened up quite nicely. That's good. Okay, so in the cockpit, the inside of the cockpit is nicely detailed. It has this sort of frosted glass, which looks like it's being used in a cold environment. Then inside we have the Landspeeder Luke figure. Now he doesn't come with the Landspeeder, with the Snowspeeder rather. He is a separate figure that you had to buy additionally. The figure you do get with the Snowspeeder is the one in the back, which is Dak. So some lovely detailing in here. Let's see if we can get in and see Dak's control panel a little bit there. Fantastic detailing on this thing. Show you Luke's controls a little bit there. And they fit the figures perfectly. The figures are great on their own. The Dak is basically the same as the Luke, but with a different helmet and head sculpt. But they're fantastic figures to go with this. In common with most Black Series vehicles, you only get the one figure with it. You have to buy the second figure on its own. We'll flip it over and I'll show you the underside. Now for me, the weakest point on this this snow speeder is actually these side landing gear. They're attached to the flaps that close them, so you can close the landing gear up like this. But the side landing gear doesn't have any bracing, so these tend to fold in, and you may have seen it do that earlier in the video when I was moving the thing around. If you move it at all, those feet will fold up. There's literally two little plastic pegs that are holding them in place. Front landing gear folds down as well. That's all nicely done. It'll be a little bit difficult to get back up, and that locks into place quite nicely. There's also a little hatch at the back here, and that's where the tow cable is stored. It does pull out from that going forward. So that's the Black Series snow speeder. So now we're going to stop filming handheld. I'm going to cut and go to a fixed camera, and we'll have a look at some more of the figures from The Empire Strikes Back. Okay, so let's take a look at some of my other figures from The Empire Strikes Back from the Black Series 6-inch range. And we're going to really look at some figures that are connected with Hoth at this point. So the first of those is the Archive Series Luke Skywalker. So this was quite an early figure originally. The face on it was horrible. It's still not great. It's not a fantastic sculpt, I don't think, but this one did benefit from having the photoreal face. So I went with the archive one. Really nicely detailed. It's the lightsaber there, which is correct for Empire. Nice detail on the costume. Has his blaster in its holster, which is also nicely done. That's Luke Skywalker in his Hoth gear. I just move him to the back. Next up we have the Archive Series Han Solo, and again I went with this one because he has the updated face printing, the photoreal face printing. There's another great figure. The only thing I don't like with this is the fact that the hood is separate. You can have it with the hood on or off, and the hood is separate. It has that horrible split down the back, and it doesn't fit to the shoulders properly. There's a lovely belt with his blaster and his binoculars. And another figure that I want to show you alongside that. This one was part of a 2-pack, which I believe was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. So this was a Han Solo in the Hoth jacket, but they used one of the other head sculpts and put a furry collar on. And this is quite a nice depiction of this, I think. Neither of these figures I think are perfect. I think your preference comes down to whichever one you like the best. Both of them could be better. This one probably has the better likeness of Han on it. Again, I think this is an updated photoreal likeness. Those are my Hoth Han Solos. This one came, as I said, in a 2-pack. It was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive 2-pack, and that came with the Hoth Leia. I love Leia figures. They're always tiny. I actually had the privilege of being able to see one of Carrie Fisher's costumes for this costume at an exhibition a few years ago, and it's tiny, and they kind of got the scale right on this one, I think. It's a lovely Leia figure with that lovely quilted detail on the costume. Again, photo real face, really nicely done. That's Princess Leia from Hoth. And of course we can't have Han Solo without Chewbacca. This is the this is the 40th anniversary release of Chewbacca. 40th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back, that is. It might have been nice if they'd done a snowy one for the Hoth scenes. We do see Chewie with lots of snow hanging off of his fur. But this is another nice Chewie, and it's retained that nice paintwork on the bandolier that we saw on the A New Hope version. I think this has a different head sculpt to the A New Hope. Chewie does look quite different in A New Hope to Empire. Excuse the figures falling over. That's the 40th anniversary of Empire Chewie. And now we move on to what is quite possibly one of the best figures, I think, in the entire Black Series range, and that's the Hoth Rebel Trooper. And we've got 2 of them here because he comes with alternate faces. You have the one on the left here with the beard, and you have one without the beard. But he also comes with lots of accessories. So there's the goggles, there are the bandana, neck bandana, and you with these and the faces, you can make up so many different versions of this figure. I forget how many combinations there are of parts that you can put together to make this figure. There are loads, and you know, they don't suffer because they have interchangeable faces. The interchangeable faces both have great photorealistic paint on the face. They both look great. They're a really nicely detailed figure as well. The backpack comes off and you can keep the alternate face in the backpack. There's a little hatch in the back there. And you can keep the alternate face in the backpack. Just a really well thought out, really nicely executed figure. And you know, if your army building doesn't get any better than this, because you can make up so many variations with the figures that they've given you. The backpack just sits in a peg hole in the back. Great figure. So we'll move on to some of the bigger figures. Next up, here's the Wampa. I'm going to struggle to get him in frame, so I'm just going to adjust the camera. This is the Wampa, who is an enormous figure. He is articulated. He has a lovely feature that his arm comes off. So if you want to replicate the scene where Luke's cut his arm off, that all comes off. And we even have some red paint in there. It's that's a classic feature to put on a Wampa, isn't it? Lovely finish to this figure. He stands, as you can see, he stands well above all the other figures. This came in a lovely vintage style Kenner type box. I'm not sure if he was exclusive. I don't think he was available too much, but that's the Wampa. And then we'll move on to Imperials, and the next figure is the Imperial probe droid. And again, this is a lovely model. Fantastic detail on here all the way around. There is articulation on the limbs. Comes on this lovely stand. Once again, it's just a great looking droid. Hasbro Black Series really do a good job on creature faces and droids, and armoured figures as well, I think. So that's our probe droid. And we have the Empire Strikes Back 40th anniversary Darth Vader, who is quite possibly the best Darth Vader that the Black Series have done to date. He's accurate to the film, has butterfly joints, has some nice soft goods. The cape is nice. It's big enough but not too big. Just a really nice Vader figure. If you can only get one Vader figure, this is the one I would suggest you go for if you can find one. Great figure. And of course we can't have Vader on Hoth without flanking him with a couple of snowtroopers. And these are 40th anniversary versions. So this figure was released earlier in the line. I think it might have been a red box figure, it may have been a blue box or orange box figure. These are the carded 40th anniversary reissues. Really nice figures. Again, you know, Hasbro nailing troopers. Really getting the details right. Lots of nice detail painting. These two figures are the same. I just wanted two of them so that they could flank Vader on my shelf. And next up we have General Veers. Another great figure. I think this was one of the first figures to come out with photo real face painting. Great figure. Comes with the helmet, but also has his Imperial Officer's cap. Really nice figure. Comes with all the armour, which is removable, and underneath all of that there is standard Imperial Officer's uniform. Great figure. Really nice photoreal face painting. A really good likeness of Julian Glover, the actor that played him. That's General Veers. And of course we see General Veers in the AT-80 or the AT-AT. And we have a couple of AT-AT drivers to go with him. Again, these were reissued for the 40th anniversary on card backs, and that's where these two come from. Try and get this to focus for you. Again, these are really great trooper figures. They really do a good job of troopers when they do them, the Black Series. Lovely detail. And just see if we can check out the fine detail on the paint on these. This is a level of paint detail that we just don't see at the moment from the Black Series. I really hope that they can bring that back at some point, because yeah, it's missing right now. So that's all my Hoth figures from the Black Series. I'll be doing another video, part 2, for the Empire Strikes Back, with all my figures from the rest of the Empire Strikes Back. But for now, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please please tap the like button. Let the old YouTube algorithm know that people like this sort of content. If you like the content on the channel, then please do consider subscribing to the channel. I hope you've enjoyed seeing this collection, the first part of my Empire Strikes Back Black Series collection. But for now, that's everything for today. So I'll just say cheerio.